Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. My name is Connor McKenna.
I'm Carl Stout.
I'm Rebecca Braddock.
Were you guys waiting for
Yeah.
who was going to go first?
We're not sure of order anymore, but I will always defer to Carl.
Wow.
Stop it.
It's true.
So today we're going to finally cover the Defenders show because we finally caught up. Yes, no. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say I'm not reading this comic. So
Well, me and Carl can talk about it a little bit.
yeah, there is news on that front. It's ending at issue 10 apparently.
Ooh.
Brian Bendis said on Tumblr that number 10 would be the finale, and that was always planned. Whether we believe that or not, based on him leaving, is another matter. But it does mean that nobody that we know it's initially not going to just segue into a new creative team.
A shiver just went up my spine because I heard the words Bendis and Tumblr in the same sentence. It's like unnatural, unholy.
He answers a lot of questions on Tumblr, but then he posts them to his Twitter, like it retweets it. So
Yeah.
Don't worry, Connor. He's in DC now. Only a matter of time before he's destroying Superman.
I mean, as long as he stays away from Superman, I don't
Yeah,
care.
I don't think that's gonna be how things play out. But then,
Yeah.
hey, we didn't want him on Iron Fist.
Put him on characters I don't like. Unleash the Bendises of war. Yeah, just put them on.
I think he might get Shazam as well.
What's funny is a lot of
He could
hubbub
do
I've
Shazam.
seen
Yeah, I
online.
think he could do Shazam well.
People want him to do a Nightwing solo.
Oh my god, I would not read him writing Nightwing. He can't write sexy. Come on.
You
A
saying
lot
he can't
of
write dick?
people are any of them women.
Yes, I believe that is exactly what she said, Connor. Good stuff. Good stuff.
The coffee. Moving on. So, unless anyone had anything else to add about Bendis.
No, goodbye.
He said that a woman's going to be writing Jessica Jones after him. That's the only other bit of news. And that he's picked his successor. I don't really know why he gets to pick her. He gets to write Jessica, but I guess it is his creation, so maybe he gets some say. But he shouldn't really. But I'm hoping it's Chelsea Kane, so that's all right because she's one of his friends. So that's.
We all know Siegel and Schuster got a lot of say about Superman, so.
Did they? Yeah, I mean that's why I didn't want to make any snarky comments about it because maybe they actually do get a bit of a say, and I
don't think they do.
I don't think they generally do, but maybe he's had a lot of sway at Marvel. Maybe he gets a. I mean, I know Chelsea Kane is the only other person who's written sort of Jessica as a solo title in one of the little anthology things, probably for Civil War 2. So, and I know she's a friend of Brian Bendis's, so hopefully, but I don't mind. I mean, it'll be interesting to see a woman write Jessica, honestly, but not because of anything except it'd be interesting to see anybody else write Jessica.
You know what I'd like?
What?
I'd like a martial artist to write Iron Fist. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, didn't we discuss that the other day? Like, that would be kind of funky.
I can't remember, but probably. But
Yeah, I think it's come up
something
before.
I think about now and then. It's like someone who actually knows martial arts writing.
The problem is I don't know how many of those are writers, but...
Like, Kerry knows martial arts movie, but it's obvious that he hasn't done martial arts. Unless he has, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Which is something we'll talk about when we do Iron Fists. But, yeah. Anyway. So, Defenders show. Right. Yes.
Yes.
Netflix show. Which
Okay, well,
they have just announced staying in Netflix. Disney is allowing all of the current Marvel shows to stay on Netflix.
Yeah.
So, Defenders, if there is another one, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and The Punisher will not be on the Disney streaming service coming next year.
In America, at least.
Right.
Because we have no idea what's happening with the rest of the world. But we will see.
Yeah.
But that's good. I mean, I don't think Disney can't really be dying to get the R-rated content, but I think it's good that we get some continuity. I mean, we still don't really know what the end date is for the Netflix deal and how long everyone's going to be happy to keep continuing in it. But we know we're getting another season at least of each of the individual series, bar Punisher, because that's only just dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Rebecca gives the thumbs up too.
Yes, I did. I finished Punisher and I enjoyed it, and I really, really didn't think I would. So there you go.
I'm halfway through. As a huge Punisher fan, there's something that'll probably annoy a lot of other Frank heads in the first episode or two, but it's getting better as it goes. So here's hoping. You say it gets more violent, right? Because it seems to be pulling a lot of its punches so far. So here's hoping it goes full
there
R-rated.
Are definite episodes where my entire episode notes are, "Oh my god, gross, no," and "Stop it," and what? So and for some reason I think this will remind me what happened in the episode, but I don't. Definitely. I mean, they contain the violence in that it's not full episodes of it. You've got maybe sort of 20 minutes of and it does get to really half an episode of pretty grim, gruesome
Excellent
stuff. I mean, I think they did well by having someone from Hannibal come and show run it, because it's the same kind of that sort of visceral gore that you have to handle it quite well, because you don't want to put people off, but you want to show that this is what these characters would do.
So, who here has read Punisher Max?
I read it, but years ago, 20 years ago or something. So I haven't gone back and reread it ever. So, and not because I dislike it, just because I've been reading other stuff. I mean, I'm not a massive Punisher fan.
Yeah. This is heavily inspired by Max, and Max is very violent, and Frank is not the most likable character in that. He's very much a force of nature, so yeah. Anyway, Defenders. So, do you guys have any? I mean, you guys like it? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
It is in my mid-range of Netflix Marvel ranking.
Same. I liked it, but it wasn't amazing.
But I'm not sure it ever could have got better. I'm not sure how high it could have gone. No, I'm not sure how high in my rankings it could have got, because a certain percentage of it always had to be, how do they get together?
Mm-hmm.
But the villains were pretty bad.
Yes.
Yeah, other than Sigourney Weaver, just being there was cool, but her character itself was kind of
Villains, I feel like, will be the majority of the discussion. So, you guys want to start with the pros or the cons?
Let's go with pros.
Okay.
Iron Fist was 300% better than his own series.
He was still good in his own series.
He was better. I don't think I'd put percentages on it, but he was better.
Well, because he'd grown as a character.
He had more to play off as well, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
True.
He had really good chemistry with the rest of them. I was really pleased to see there was, especially, spoilers ahead, especially at the end, there was a lot of Danny and Matt stuff.
And he did great with Luke, and
and the little bonding scene with Luke. It's like, oh, could this be the beginning of Power Man and Iron Fist?
Yeah.
There was
no mystery
conclusion.
Though.
There was no conclusion to that. Oh no.
No.
There was a conclusion to Danny and
Daredevil.
There was a scene at the end. Daredevil was quote unquote dead, and he inspired Danny to sort of put on a costume, like strike a slab pose, and with his Adidas tracksuit, looking over Hell's Kitchen, and he's gonna sort of take over for Daredevil, protecting the neighborhood or Earth or whatever. But with Luke and Danny, there was no ending resolution scene.
Nope.
Right.
I remember getting really annoyed because there was like 4 or 5 Jessica Jones scenes at the end, and we didn't get a scene with Luke and Danny.
I was honestly annoyed that he don't even think he said hello to Misty.
Yeah, no, they didn't interact at all.
I know, and I'm
Danny
like, come on.
He was missing when Misty interacted with all the side characters.
But we do know he's going to be in Luke Cage season 2. So.
Yes. And he's paying for her arm.
Yes.
Yeah, which, I think everyone laughed when Misty got her arm cut off, because we were all waiting for.
I didn't laugh. I did cheer though, like very loudly.
I cheered. I was like, "Yes, it's gonna happen."
It was just cut off so perfectly.
Like I've never willed someone to lose a limb as much as watching. Oh, that's true. Not true. Watching Black Sails and waiting for Long John Silver to lose his leg was fairly similar. Because it's going. You just gotta wait. I wasn't as sure Misty definitely would lose her arm until it was about to happen, and then I cheered.
I thought the cut was so perfect.
Yeah,
it was like the exact correct length for her robot arm from the comics. I just thought it was really funny, and I cheered too. I was like, about time.
Well, it depends who's drawing her. Some people do it all the way up to their shoulder.
Yeah.
But is it going to just... And they've already shown pictures of her wearing it. There's been some shots.
And it looks weird, but...
It looks more like a real prosthetic, though. Which
it's
I
not
think
metal.
is... Yeah, but I quite like that. I mean, I saw somebody say that they liked it because they've got a family member who's got a prosthetic arm, and they felt Misty could be more of a role model if she looked more like, like. I mean, we know what these things are like. It'll probably be upgraded 4 times before the end of the series.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be getting busted every 3rd episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, Danny was good. He was... Yeah, he did a lot of cool stuff. I loved his dynamic with Stick.
Yeah,
the true hero of Defenders was Stick.
I don't know about that.
I'm not sure there was any true hero in Defenders.
Yeah. My only problem is Iron Fist got beaten up a lot.
I'm still going on that he's gonna... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that was kind of a necessity given how they've built the character so far, but it hurts compared to the comics for sure.
And he was just using his Iron Fist to just punch goons, and that annoyed me because I was like, you're supposed to do something cool with that.
That's kind of happening in the comics at the moment as well, as we've discussed. So it's hard to... Maybe it's Marvel's new take on it all.
Yeah, but he did have that awesome moment where he punched the entire room of goons down with Madame Gao.
Mm-hmm. That was the best use.
That fight scene with Madame Gao, Bakuto, and the other dude with Danny, no, not Danny, Matt, Jessica, and Luke was so shoddy. Like, I thought it was really hilariously bad. Like, she's just sort of force pushing things around.
Yeah.
It was just like, really? But yeah, Danny, good. Matt, I really liked Matt in the show.
I thought the best fight was the boardroom.
Oh, yes, for sure.
I completely agree. The boardroom was amazing. And
that's like right in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's episode 4.
Episode 3.
3 or 4. Okay, cool.
It's the end of 3. I did find it really funny how just Luke has like hip hop music following him around. Like someone's carrying like a stereo behind him or something wherever he goes. But yeah, that boardroom fight was amazing. Yeah, the fight. I mean, I didn't think the fight choreography in Iron Fist was bad, but like it was a lot better in this show.
Yes.
And I mean, the boardroom fight was the best fight in the series. It was really awesome.
They fight in a boardroom. It's awesome.
The quips are good.
Use each other's abilities to their advantage to back one another up. Then it rolls out into the hallway, and we get everyone else involved. And Danny does use his iron fist to shatter a sword meant for Matt. It's all cool stuff.
Yeah. And Danny was actually, it's pretty funny, he ended up being the least whiny person in the show. Because he was the only one who wanted to do anything. Everyone else was like, oh, this is crazy, ninjas, I don't want to do it. Especially Matt. Like, Jesus, dude. And Jessica as well. She actually leaves during the restaurant and then comes back. But yeah, Danny was like the least whiny person. It was
everyone's biggest gripe online about Danny was him introducing himself as the Immortal Iron Fist to every single person he meets.
That was kind of funny.
However, being a huge fan of old school 70s kung fu movies, I think that's a shout out to them, because in all those movies, the hero fully introduces himself to every single person he meets and then usually tells them his quest.
Yeah, but the problem is, when you mix that with people who aren't doing that, you can't mix the styles. You can't take that and mix it with like a random like modern up to date thing and expect it not to stand out. It did stand out and sound funny, but like I would rather he was mocked for that than like some other stuff.
It's his character though. Like he's. I mean, not to beat a dead donkey to death, but he's a Kunlun boy.
Yeah.
He's very formal. He speaks completely differently to everyone else. And he's getting a bit more like a real person, but he's not quite there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I can see why people laughed about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked Daredevil. It took him a while to put the costume on though, but it was awesome when he did. When he saved Jessica from the crazy Japanese member of the hand. I can't remember his name. I remember he was like skinning a bear or something in his first scene though.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean.
That he killed with his bare hands.
Yeah. Daredevil was great. It felt. Okay, I have other points to make, but let's just go through. No, let's just do it now. So Daredevil was great, and Daredevil and I disagree. But one of the problems with the show is it based like the main plot so heavily on those two shows that like Jessica and Luke, especially Jessica, sometimes felt like it's a bit of a like. What are they doing there? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, why didn't they choose villains that they all had a stake in? Like, we had a bunch of stuff with Jessica around the start where she was investigating. It's like, that was cool, but she was investigating stuff that all the other characters already knew.
Yeah.
So it was kind of pointless.
There was a lot of... the problem is it was, 8 episodes, and it still felt drawn out at times.
Yeah, and I think, they definitely could have made it feel not drawn out, but I just think it was a really poor choice. Maybe not a poor choice of villains, but poor execution of the villains. Mm-hmm. Because, one of the things I never thought I would think, because even the Netflix shows I like the least, the villains are always really, really good, but in this show, the villains sucked. Sigourney Weaver was wasted. She sort of just stood there talking about how old she was all the time, and then she died. And Elektra, I will say Elektra was probably my favorite part of the show, even though she made no sense. Too. I just loved her portrayal, and she just reminded me a lot of Elektra from the comics, which she didn't remind me of in Daredevil Season 2. I didn't think that was Elektra, but this seems like Elektra to me. And I loved her, but she didn't make sense either.
No, but at least she had an interesting story arc, and I could buy it within the context of the shows.
Yeah. But the whole thing, okay, she's the Black Sky. The Black Sky is the super important thing that the Hand have. It's like their nuke to end all nukes. But we still don't find out what it is or why it's important. Oh, it's important. She can punch Luke Cage into a wall. Like, we don't know what she is either. Like, she's like a super zombie. See, all of it sort of implied before, even the show implied like a Shadowland sort of thing.
Yeah.
I kind of thought she was like, you know, the Yang to the Iron Fist Yin, since they are all from Kunlun. And that was the flip side of the Iron Fist.
I didn't get that from it.
Because it was Iron Fist's, you know, job to put them down. That was their defense.
That was the other thing. The Iron Fist was around before they left, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had to be.
So it sort of became the Iron Fist purpose, but
let's be honest, a whole lot of the history there has been totally screwed in this TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make much sense.
No.
Hopefully...
The immortality was granted by eating the fruit from the tree of life, not black bone marrow from dragon bones.
That was just the Hand's immortality, though, because they still mention the tree in Iron Fist. So, I mean, there's a lot of problems with, like, a lot of stuff was not explained in Iron Fist, and it's still not explained in Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is obviously what happened to Kunlun. It's just like not explained at all, and then Danny decides at the end, I'm going to protect New York, and it's like, wait, what about Kunlun? Like, you're like really upset about that. And I remember I read an interview with the writers, and they're like, oh, Kunlun's a question that'll be answered in Iron Fist Season 2. It's like, you know, you didn't answer the question. Why did you have his character just go, oh, I'll protect New York and forget about Kunlun?
I think there's definite sort of the shows don't all sink in perfectly, and and we said at the start there was a slight issue with having the Hand as a baddie for trying to fit the Iron Fist mythology in with the Hand as fully as they tried to do, and I think they're kind of struggling against that. They can't really go to the comics for answers because they ain't gonna get them.
Yeah.
You know, he said in one of the episodes that his job as the Iron Fist was not only to protect Kunlun, but it was to protect it and destroy the Hand.
Yeah, he said that in Iron Fist as well. Yeah, but he said that in Iron Fist as well. But it's just like, I think that's the problem they've got, is that like they've had to tie the Hand mythology in with Kunlun, which doesn't fit in with any of the comics.
Right, which has never been tied.
Right, so, but that's what they tried, and I guess we're saying unsuccessfully.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to backpedal a bit before I forget. With the Black Sky thing, is they set it up to be like Shadowlands, and I assumed Elektra was going to be a vessel for the Beast.
Yeah, which is what I thought as well.
And then it turns out she was there to... question mark. It's like there's no explanation. And the whole Hand's, like, their big end game is just to get more go-go juice. It's like, well, that means you just keep fighting the Hand. That doesn't mean that they win. And why is there a dragon graveyard in New York? And why is there a Kunlun Wall there? And, like...
Well, I'm guessing there was a portal to Kunlun there.
But they didn't...
I know, we don't know.
About to explode. It just made no sense. Nothing makes sense. And they concluded it as well. Like, the Hand... I don't think the Hand will be coming back. Not in Daredevil, anyway.
I would find it surprising if it did.
And it's just like Madame Gao escaped at the end. She scuttled off, and I think the angry Japanese man did too. Bakudo didn't. Rest in pepperoni. I love Bakudo. He was great in this. I love how he just shows up and he's like, Colleen, I'm one of the good guys. You can trust me. It's like, really, dude?
Like, she's not really going to fall for that one.
Yeah, this is cool as a cucumber, Bakudo.
Sorry.
And, like, the whole, the whole Hand, like, their big end game is just to get more go-go juice. It's like, well, that means you just keep fighting the Hand. That doesn't mean that they win. And why is there a Kunlun Wall there? And
But well, we don't know if they got away because they were in the underneath the collapse of the building. Matt got away.
I mean, they actually showed Madame Gao like running away, so I assume that
Yeah, but
like
the
they
other guy
wouldn't
was
have.
stuck to the floor with a piece of rebar through his chest.
Oh right, yeah. Well, he didn't get away, I guess. Well, they probably still got to use Madame Gao and Iron Fist
I guess.
because of the ending
Yeah.
where she was like listening into Davos and Joy with like an evil look drinking tea.
Because that's what evil people do.
Are we on the cons list yet?
Are we on the what?
The cons.
I think we've not really
sort
been
of
talking.
dipping in and out.
I think we're talking about a few cons.
It's hard to just talk about the pros without going into the cons. Really.
I was very disappointed that we didn't get a Kingpin cameo.
I don't know where they'd have put him in though.
Yeah, I don't think
he was involved in the whole real estate deal for the building and all that. So.
Yeah, but what I mean is if he's in jail in the universe currently.
Yeah, but he's still got his finger out there. You know what I mean? He's still being informed of what's going on. I mean, just a simple someone coming to report, like the building fell at the very end, I would have been happy. I'd been like, yes.
I'm sad we didn't get to see Ward. Just because.
Yeah,
I like Ward.
Because he went to Rand and we're like, oh cool, we're going to see Ward.
Yeah.
Ward's on holiday, so it's like, oh, okay.
Alright.
Or he's out on a business trip or something.
He's probably off his head on drugs somewhere, but whatever.
Oh, he's cleaned up now that he's not.
Yeah, but you know.
Crap. Giving fingers to all the cameras.
Yeah. So let's. I'm sure we'll come back to more hand stuff makes no sense later. Which, oh my god, none of them makes sense. Okay, let's come back to it now. So, only one of them cares about the Black Sky at this point.
Yeah.
And they're all arguing about it, and they never tell us what the Black Sky is for. They never really hint at it either. I guess they hint at Shadowland stuff, but they never do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why? It just boggles my mind. Really does. They just shouldn't have used the hand, honestly. They should have just, like, a villain everyone could think. So, like, every time Jessica was on screen, I'm like, well, why is she there? They should have used the villain that they were all, like a big crime lord, like the Kingpin or something.
Yeah.
But he has more resources now, so he's scarier and bolder, and they have to team up to fight him. But, yeah. Moving on, yeah, I guess Luke, I didn't really like him in Defenders. He was a self-righteous jerk.
Well, that seems to be Luke. I quite liked him. I thought he was fine.
Yeah. It's a problem I have with Luke in the comics as well, I guess, is that he's a self-righteous jerk. But yeah, he was their tank.
Yeah.
He'd take all the bullets and stuff.
Yeah. And he was quite good at doing that in the boardroom where he's like, step aside. Kind of like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Using him as a shield was always good.
Cool seeing him and Iron Fist fight together. And Jessica,
the funniest part was him putting on Matt's t-shirt.
Yeah, that's cool.
In Defenders?
Yeah, doesn't he throw a t-shirt on? She gives him a t-shirt.
Yeah, Claire gives...
It's got holes in it.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's for my friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it fits
that was in Iron Fist, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was in Iron Fist.
Was it?
Yeah.
Blurring the two.
Yeah. Claire, it does it to your head.
Yeah, Jessica, I guess I cheered when Jessica lifted the elevator up at the end, because I'm like, yay, she did something.
I like Jessica in it a lot. But it's like, if you don't like the characters going in, then Defenders wasn't going to do anything to change your mind on them, any of them.
It wasn't it wasn't really that I didn't like her. It was just more that she didn't like her, and I guess Luke had a bit more to do, but she didn't seem to have anything to really do in Defenders because, as I said, they made the plot about like the hand. Sorry, the hands, and I'm still not like 100% sure what Jessica's powers actually are.
Well, it's kind of the same in the comics, though, isn't it? I mean, they're never that specific about them. We know she can fly a bit. We know she's strong.
Limited flight.
And tough.
But not bulletproof.
No.
And we got everyone's, we got like side characters from every show as well.
Yeah.
We got Karen, Foggy, Colleen, Claire Temple,
Misty.
Misty.
No Punisher.
Malcolm.
A few of the other bit parts from Luke as well. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Punisher would have. I don't see how it would have felt.
Yeah, I mean, is anyone else really disappointed Claire didn't die?
Always.
Like, I thought, okay, she's gonna die and they're all gonna team up, and then she didn't die. I'm like, oh, is she gonna pop up in every show still, or is she just gonna pop up in,
Probably just
like...
No, probably none of them.
Please get away from Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still having nightmares about the Tiger Claws, and...
Oh,
like,
God, that was so funny.
Oh, man.
That was awesome.
Like, her cameo in Jessica Jones is good.
Yeah.
Not good in Iron Fist. Because it wasn't a cameo, it was... she's beating up trained ninjas. I mean, listen to the Iron Fist episode if you guys want to hear about that fun adventure. But yeah. And I guess we had the fly... Yeah, I don't know if... So I'm just trying to choose... How about you guys talk a bit? You guys choose where this discussion goes.
Well, I don't really... I mean, I don't know, I just think we've talked about a lot of it. I don't know how much more I have to say about the Defenders. I think it didn't really live up to its potential, but But I'm also kind of... I don't know... Like I said, I know that it would have... And I don't know what they could have done. I don't know.
They all had chemistry together. I think that was a big important thing. Let's talk about that fight with Danny and Matt and the other Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Where he, I'm sure, Carl, you have something to say about that. I'm sure. Yeah, really? You're not mad Daredevil
was a stick cutting off the dude's head.
You're not mad that Daredevil was
everybody in shock. Well, no, because they've already set the character up that he's not that good right now. So Daredevil right now, unfortunately to say, is the straight out better fighter than Danny, which technically he shouldn't be, but he is. Mm-hmm. And Danny, as he is now also unfortunately doing in the comic books, whenever he goes up against somebody, it's the Iron Fist that bails his ass out. And it really shouldn't be. He's a multi-talented, skilled martial artist, and he constantly has to rely on the Iron Fist against everybody now.
Yeah.
But
I still think
I don't know. I don't think they've... I think we're coming at it very much from people who know the comics very well. I don't know how much they've established that he's the greatest fighter without the Iron Fist within the show's context.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's disappointing for us, but I don't know if it matters. I want the shows to be consistent. I want them to make sense to people, but it's like there's still a lot of the Defenders still was pretty
Oh, without a doubt.
The other problem is, I guess, if you have Daredevil to lose to Iron Fist, like, you have to have Daredevil be the best at something in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And, having him, I guess... Well, I mean, honestly, I think the fight could have gone either way. Still, we didn't really get to see all of it. But... Yeah. if like Daredevil just jobs to Iron Fist, then it's kind of like, I guess they're going the route that Daredevil's like very seasoned and experienced, even though we all know it doesn't make sense because Danny beat up a dragon, but like whatever. It was a cool scene. Like he still punched Luke around and stuff. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to talk about really. There's only so much we can. There's only so many times we can say the villains were really disappointing. It didn't make any sense. It was really cool to see Bakura back though.
I still enjoyed watching it, I'll say. I mean, like, I didn't have an awful time watching it. It never slipped into hate watching. It just never became, oh my god, I can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, it's not my least favourite Netflix show. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not at the bottom.
Literally, the two cheering moments was the boardroom and Misty losing her arm.
Yeah, which are both heavily Iron Fist related.
I think
there
was
a
couple more cheering moments, like Danny punching Luke in that first meeting.
Yeah, that first meeting was great.
I
will say the trailers ruined way too much.
I didn't really watch them.
That's what they do with them now every time. I don't even watch trailers anymore because it's just
I'm not going to because it ruined Matt meeting Jessica. Can you imagine if he didn't know that was going to happen?
Yeah.
Like Matt just walks in the room, they ruined Danny punching Luke. But I mean, that being said, we all knew that was coming. So
yeah.
But yeah.
I would like to discuss my biggest disappointment.
Okay.
There's bigger disappointment in the villain than the plot.
Yes. All right. Huge spoiler. If for some unknown reason you haven't seen this, skip like the next 3 minutes. The whole stupid plot of this entire show was the Hand used all their magical black goop, which is apparently bone marrow from ancient dragons from Kunlun, which somehow also used to be on Earth, and their skeletons are scattered. So they need to find more dragon bones because they used it all to make Black Sky / Elektra, and now all the elders are out of the juice, so they got to be careful, and they're aging, and they're slowly dying. And of course, there's a skeleton under the ground in New York City, which falls back to Daredevil with a giant hole at the construction site. It's now got a building over it. So we find out what's at the bottom of that hole is some magical protected wall, which was kind of cool, with writing from Kunlun all over it. And so they need the Iron Fist to unlock it, because somehow Iron Fist locked it thousands of years ago. Because literally with that much sediment above it, it's been thousands and thousands of years. So of course they get Iron Fist trickery to unlock it. And in it opens up and it's bones of a skeleton. Huge opportunity missed here. Iron Fist sealed this. So it would have been the perfect chance for an altar or some type of Iron Fist with the Book of Kunlun, so Danny could learn some new stuff like he has in the comics, and possibly a spare uniform. Could have got him getting the book, becoming a better fighter, learning more abilities that the Iron Fist can use, because since he literally, I got the Iron Fist and I split, he really doesn't know what to do with it other than I can punch stuff and deflect bullets that comes later. And it would have gave him a uniform. He didn't need to put it on in Defenders, but they could have shown him having it.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with putting the city in jeopardy is that because the bones are under the foundation of the city, once they pulled them all out to take the bone marrow, the city would collapse. It would create a sinkhole, which the villains said they had done before. I think they said France or Paris. They did it, and the city collapsed and rebuilt.
Actually, that's the thing we should probably mention. They did pretty much say that the city would collapse if they kept this thing open. So I guess there's that. It wasn't just Go-Go Juice, but yeah. I mean, if we're talking about waste opportunities, the whole main plot, it was just a waste opportunity because they set everything up perfectly. Hell, and even Daredevil season 1, they set everything up. Just use what they set up, and then either they haven't read the comics or they completely misinterpreted what they set up, and they made this weird, lame plot that was full of disappointment. So, yeah. Can we talk about Daredevil's death?
Let's.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it was like, oh, and then 2 minutes later, you're like, oh. So it wasn't even really a death.
Yeah, I know, but we all knew we had Daredevil season 3. But I mean, it was a nice, dramatic note to end on, especially with the way it would affect the other characters, which I guess it mostly affected Danny. But yeah, and I guess that sets up Daredevil season 3. I mean, because let's face it, he's pretended to be dead a lot of times before. So
correct.
Yeah,
we have the whole fight to the death, lovers duel battle at the end, and the building collapses on them, and everyone thinks they're dead. And then we go to the credits, and then the end credit scenes.
Why was Daredevil suddenly a match for Elektra?
Because they dated in college. Because there really was no chemistry that we saw other than they dated for a little bit and moved on.
They had plenty of chemistry in season 2, though. Yeah. Well,
they like beating people together.
Yeah.
She's a sadomasochist, and she gets more than beat people up.
I thought, I thought it was a bit harsh how Karen and Foggy were the only ones at Matt's funeral.
Yeah.
It's really? Not Danny, not any of the other defenders, not all the people he's helped out at the firm. I mean, the priest was there too, but it's really? That's it? Why is so many people showing up to his funeral? What the hell?
I know, right?
That bugged me. I did like Foggy's reaction though. He sort of knew that this would happen eventually, so he wasn't
that surprised. Yeah.
He wasn't an emotional wreck like Karen was. He was yeah, I kind of knew this was coming.
Yeah,
in
but
fact,
to be
Foggy
fair,
stated
Karen quickly forgets by Punisher.
I guess I haven't seen the whole show, so I'm not sure if she ever brings up Matt. I'll be disappointed if she doesn't, because, yeah. Did they even know the ending to Defenders when they were doing Punisher, though?
They all work in offices next to each other, apparently, so it wouldn't have been that hard for them to find out.
Yeah. I guess I don't really have anything else to add about the show.
No, I don't have a huge amount to say about it. I think that's probably why there's not really been an episode about it.
Yeah, we're not really burning to discuss it, I guess. It was good. Watched it. But, yeah. Iron Fist was good, so that's the most important thing for this podcast anyway. And for me, Iron Fist and Daredevil were good, and they got scenes together and character development off each other, and that was I was super excited about all that. So I love that. When I love two favorite characters interacting, just never thought I would see the day, really. But there we go. Yeah. So I really enjoyed the show. I just didn't think it was as good as some of the other ones, and I thought the villains were terrible, but yeah, it...
It was watchable, it wasn't memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah?
I'm not going to go back to it. There'll be no second viewing for me.
I'm probably not going to go back to it. I haven't gone back to it, let's put it that way.
I've watched Iron Fist twice. I've watched Daredevil Season 1 3 times, Season 2 twice. And Defenders is going to fall into the Jessica Jones, Luke Cage wormhole of I'm probably not going to rewatch it. And I guess that's something a bit different because, like, as you know, I don't really care that much about Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, but Defenders has Iron Fist and Daredevil in it, and I'm still probably not going to rewatch it for a long time. So, yeah, not bad though. Just I think the villains and the plot that's what really hurt it.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is fine. Yeah. Any other thoughts you guys have, or is that pretty much it?
That's pretty much it.
Well, my thought is, since you've both seen JLA, your thoughts.
Ooh,
you mean Justice League? Let's not get too.
Sorry, Justice League.
I need to keep myself from making it from knowing what I'm talking about. So Justice League. What my
How
thoughts?
Was Justice League?
Have you not seen it?
I have not. I've read a lot of reviews online from different people. The DC diehards are all, I love it, it's brilliant, it's the best thing ever, it's better than Wonder Woman. But other people who have a wider spectrum to their fan stuff say it's a good movie, it's fun. The storytelling, however, is a hot mess. And I'm seeing that a lot from the non-DC fanboys. They're not saying it sucked. They're not saying they hated it. They all liked it. But they're saying storytelling-wise, you can tell that there was two directors. Stuff does not mesh. I guess a lot of stuff got cut out that Snyder did. Thoughts?
Do you want to take it first?
Do you want to take it first? I'm easy.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. Because I'm not a DC fan, boy or girl, but I do like my DC. I think the harsh criticisms are overly harsh. A lot of why you can tell which bits Joss did are not just the quippy dialogue, which didn't seem that out of place. There was a couple of ones where you're like, but most of them were like, you want them to get on and join into a group, so it's fine. You can tell mostly because of the horrific CGI on the moustache, which was unnecessary, but it makes Henry Cavill look like a different person at times. Like, the opening to the film, I'm like, is that even the same actor? Even though I know it is, because of this stupid decision that was out of all of their hands, except unless Warner Brothers had said, let's delay the film. Well, as a film, look, it is enjoyable. It's a fun film. There's nothing awful about it. Everything you can nitpick it to, like, as much as you can nitpick, but unless I nitpick my Marvel stuff as much, I'm not going to go into the sort of nitpicking-y stuff I didn't like. I liked Superman in it. It was great to see Superman be a good and hopeful and smiling. I liked Lois in it, which I maybe didn't like in some of the Superman films as much. I liked some of the other characters we've not seen before who aren't necessarily part of the main Justice League. I liked Flash. I liked Cyborg more than I thought I would, because I thought I'd come out thinking Cyborg, what's the point? But I actually quite liked him. Batman probably went slightly down in my estimation from previous films. And all the other ones probably went up. Wonder Woman was fine, not as good as in Wonder Woman, was still fine though. You could definitely tell a man had made the film, and it doesn't matter which man, because there were upskirt shots, which I think were highly unnecessary, and they could have come from either director, because Joss is just as bad.
Gotta point out 300 there.
Yes, 300 again, but the fact that her costume looked shorter, because I could see her butt more. Like, whether it was shorter or not, I don't know. I don't want to see her arse. and I don't mean in costume arse. Like, and I get that all the men are wearing bigger costumes. Either give her a bigger costume or don't, like, it's just noticeable from Wonder Woman where they managed not to have one shot like that was directed by a woman. And it didn't make me hate the film. That's maybe one of the sort of nitpicky thing. I think, look, the story was standard superhero fare of get a gang together, kill a bad guy that isn't the world's greatest villain. He's not going to stand up in any of the Villain of the Year contests, but Marvel have had just as bad villains. So, I thought it was fine. I'm not going to go see it again. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the time I had, is my take on
it. Connor?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's pretty much a Marvel movie in DC form. I don't feel like it had much substance at all, but it was fun. The characters played off each other well. Superman was amazing. I really loved all of his scenes. The best scene in the movie by leaps and bounds is a Superman scene, and from everyone I've talked to, they really liked him as well. I really liked The Flash. I really liked Aquaman. I really liked Cyborg. I feel like Cyborg was underutilized and underdeveloped, though, because he played such an important part, but he just didn't have as much screen time as I think he should have. But I know that they've cut so much of that movie.
Apparently, yeah.
Like the original runtime was 2 hours and 50 minutes, so they've cut 50 minutes from the movie, and who knows like what else they've cut in the reshoots. Speaking of the reshoots, they were so obvious, like really obvious. You could tell which scene was done by Whedon, which scene was done by Snyder. A, due to the weird zombie mustache thing Henry Cavill had going on, but B, just like even Ben Affleck, he looks so different from when he originally shot the movie to the reshoots. He looks unhealthier, and like the lighting is completely different. Goes from like Zack Snyder to like a TV movie, I guess. But like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more like than the theatrical Batman v Superman. Like it was somehow less of a mess than that.
It was enjoyable. That's why.
Like the editing in that theatrical Batman v Superman was just like so bad. But in this, despite the fact that like 50% of the movie seemed reshot, the editing was like nowhere near as bad as that. So yeah, I liked. I'm glad I watched Wonder Woman beforehand because I like seeing the Amazonian stuff come back, like my Greek stuff. Even though they were completely useless, like they were in Wonder Woman, it was still cool that it was there.
Yeah.
Yes, spoilers ahead. Do you care about spoilers, Carl? Actually, no, I won't give any spoilers.
Go ahead, Do it.
No.
Do it.
Just in case there's people listening who haven't seen it, but there's some pretty cool Easter eggs.
Yeah, there are.
Green Lantern Easter egg.
A blue lantern.
Skip ahead 5 seconds. Skip ahead 10 seconds. Yes, there's a Green Lantern Easter egg.
And it's great.
And there's a Green Lantern that fights in like an ancient battle, and it's pretty awesome.
It is great. I cheered. Having just read Green Lantern.
So yeah, I liked it. I liked. Oh yeah, I haven't talked about Wonder Woman. I liked Wonder Woman. I'm still not convinced that Gal Gadot's like the best actress. Like I really liked the Wonder Woman movie. It's my second favorite DC EU movie. But I feel like I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about her acting. I guess her portrayal of Wonder Woman's fine. Yeah. She was better in, like, I hated her character in Batman v Superman, but she was a lot better in this and her own movie.
She didn't have a lot to do in Batman vs Superman, though. I mean, I agree.
Just yelled.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And The Flash. I thought The Flash was great. I know some people hate The Flash, but I thought he was really good.
I liked him very much. Yeah.
He was very much like Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, but that's not really a bad thing, and... Like, I guess him and Superman share the best moment in the movie.
They do. Twice.
So, yes, and they're really good. Like,
I like how we can
people-
actually say that. The best moment in the movie twice, but only because it's Superman and Flash.
even people who didn't like the movie, like, think that Flash and Superman thing, moment was, like,
Yeah.
really well done. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. Makes me, like watching all this, Zack Snyder Greek sort of stuff. I know he didn't do Wonder Woman, but yeah, it makes me want to watch 300 again, even though I don't really feel like staying at men's
he did some of the story sketching for Wonder Woman though, didn't he? Like the overall.
I think he was as involved. I think he did a lot of the story
Yeah.
with, like, he co-wrote it with other people.
And
so
to
he's
be
kind of-
fair, while everyone's knocking Snyder, he was integral in casting them all, and that's not bad. That's a pretty big role, given that we're saying we like them all. I mean, Batman is maybe out of everyone's hands, but he's not a bad. It wasn't a bad choice of casting, but like he helped cast Gal and all the others, and I think did a good job there. So well done, Zach.
I mean, yeah, I like Zack. I don't have a problem with him. I'm not sure how his version of Justice League would have turned out. I'm hoping we get like a Snyder cut or something, because I would like to see how different it is. And you're like, yeah, he co-wrote Wonder Woman, you know. Yeah, like I guess I think he was kind of like Nolan was in Man of Steel.
Mhm.
Makes any sense? I think because there's still a lot of people who like Man of Steel, but none of the others, and I think like a lot of them are thinking it's because like Nolan is the reason
Yeah,
that
I
one is
think
good,
so.
and the other, and I can see where they're coming from. But yeah, so that's my thoughts. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's pretty much a Marvel movie. Like except it's with Henry Cavill as Superman, so I'm always going to enjoy it more. You know what I mean? But villain Steppenwolf, awful,
Yeah.
awful. Might even be worse than Malekith in Thor: The Dark World. And holy crap, that is saying something.
Mhm.
Like, he is so bad. He's just the epitome of forgettable. Who cares? Who gives a turd? But yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts. There you go, Carl. You should watch it.
Yeah, it's worth watching, and the kids will
Definitely
love
worth
it.
watching.
Mr. Thor.
Thor's amazing, but
Ragnarok?
yeah.
Haven't seen it.
Thor's great, but if you've seen any of Taika Waititi's other films, it's completely that sense of humour. Not throughout, but there's moments that if you love it, you'll love it, and if you hate it, they'll really take you away from the film. I think the storyline's good, the acting's good, and the casting's good. There's just some moments of humour where I'm like, didn't need that. But then other people have found it hilarious. So it's a humour thing where it'll either carry you along, but the actual story I liked. It had consequences. It had the new characters are great. Blah blah blah. Anyway, it's good. I'd say it's fun and enjoyable, and can completely see why it's doing well. And they should have let Hemsworth probably be a bit more like this Thor throughout.
Hasn't it hit like 800 million already worldwide?
I don't know. I know it opened to 122 domestic.
Last week it was at 660.
Yeah.
It done like.
I don't really follow the numbers too well, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure it's going to do okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
All right. I think that wraps it up, Connor.
I think so.
The trifecta
Yep.
back together.
Hooray!
Yes. So, apologies for anything we missed, because I didn't really plan this out as much as I did the Iron Fist episode, because me, fell asleep. But, yeah. So, until next time, may your fist cover that weird zombie CGI mustache and, like, just do anything else to make it look less weird, and make something onto a thing of iron, punch some ninjas that are undead,
And wind up with tracks.
yeah, peace.
Bye.
Adios.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. It doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon. Our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast. Our Soundcloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are. Our YouTube, Connor Carl. Just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. And I would like to thank Thomas Tissot for letting us use his Iron Fist theme song for the start of our show. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.